I'm not a fan of doing prediction videos, but we gotta hit a prediction again for part 2. I did a prediction already for part 1, 2, and 3, but as we get new information, it's always good to make a more informed prediction of what you think is upcoming, and I know a lot of you guys are curious to see what I think is going to drop in the part 2. Also a reminder, the reveals and stuff is tomorrow, the 9th of December at 2 PM UTC. I will be live streaming it, so be there to watch with me. I'll be live at least 1 to 2 hours before, so there'll be time to chill, discuss, and then get into the reaction for whatever they got in store. Anyways, I'm gonna give you all the information that we have first, and then let's go into what I think is going to drop. And in the comment section, let me know what you think is going to drop for the Festival 2025 part 2. Let's get into this. Right, so we're starting here with this tweet the devs made. It's in response to the free-to-play Jiren that we already know and have in the game, right? They posted the free-to-play Jiren. It's been over a week now, November 25th. We've had the Jiren in the game for a minute, but they replied to it at the time I'm recording this. It's been 3 hours ago. Let me even go to the exact time. So it's 11 AM today on December 8th, right? And it's a Belmod quote. Perhaps it's time that all of you know the true reason behind Jiren's obsession with strength. There's nothing else to it. It's pretty much very clear cut. We've already had the idea that Universe Rep is going to be part 2, but this is more so emphasizing that. But Jiren's been here for a minute. We don't know if we're going to get a Legends Limited Jiren again. That could be interesting. You know, wouldn't it be interesting to see a double powerful opponent Universe Rep part 2? Another Jiren and maybe God Topo, putting it out there. I don't know how people will respond to that, but it's not impossible, just putting it out there. But yeah, if we get another Jiren, like a premium Jiren, that could be interesting. That could be very interesting. I don't even have anything else to say. It's just like, yeah, this is the information we've got, so I'm just putting it into the video. I'm not going to read anything about free-to-play Jiren because we already know what he does, and most of you guys probably don't care. I don't either. So yeah, the first thing is a Belmod quote. Interesting that they decided to just drop that today, but you know, we take what we get. Now, without a shadow of a doubt, we have to do the color scaling. The colors that they choose on these images are very intentional, and I've shown this in numerous videos, and we've seen it in part 1 as well, where now that we have Super Gogeta and Super Janemba, we see that the colors match up with the orange and the red, the purple, you know, all the colors that we got. Or was it pink? I don't recall anyways, but you guys can go back and check and you'll know. Here they've chosen to use purple and this red. That's very interesting to me. It's very specific. I feel like they would never use this shade of purple unless it specifically meant something. Like, this shade of purple is not a shade of purple any company would just put out there with free will. You know, if it's not their color scheme for whatever brand they are, this is a very, very intentional pick. So we have this, right? They're obviously using the Super Gogeta image, but that doesn't mean much. The red as well, don't forget the red. So it's red and purple here. On this side, we got more color scaling. We got bright purple all over the galaxy. Again, they had a different color, I believe, in the part 1. If it wasn't different colors, like I think it was red, like mostly red. That's very intentional. It's intentional. They don't do this on accident. So with this and the other image I've shown you, hey, if we have Universe Rep hints floating around, what could it mean if you put all the pieces together? I'm just here delivering you the information that we have so far. I'm going to make my prediction later on. We also have this. They randomly just dropped this. New arts card sleeve info. Fua, art card sleeves are here. Collect and exchange non-stop festival raid medals to get them. That information is pretty much irrelevant besides from his name. This is the Supreme Kai from Universe 6. I spoke about this in one of my previous videos. Don't ask how I know that, but I know that. But they randomly decided to drop him. I think this is more so pushing the idea of a Universe Rep part 2. Again, just another hint, not much layering to it. I think I should just mention it for the sake. You can clearly see there's a lot of Universe Rep, just to line it up very clear cut. I think this should also speak for itself. The Ultra UI Platinum equipment, which is terrorizing PvP right now. A lot of people hate the fact that he got a Platinum equipment because everybody's using him, and he is very, very good in ranked PvP. There's not much more to say. He's just obviously like top class Universe Rep character that we could have got. So without a doubt, this is 100% going to be Universe Rep based. Like, at this point, I don't know why I'm sugarcoating it, but you know, just another hint so you guys can really confirm the idea in your head that we are certainly getting a Universe Rep character for part 2. Now that we've gotten through all the juice, the hints, let's actually get into my prediction. So my first prediction, I'm assuming they're going to drop 2 units. It's going to be God Goku and Hit. I think this is just a very obvious pick with the way that they've put the colors in for the reveal and stuff, you know, image with the red and purple. This is the most obvious red and purple pick that they could have put out in the part 2. Honestly, if you're not thinking this is like very likely, I don't know what you're thinking. I'm really confident in this pick. Similar to how I was confident in Super Gogeta, I was saying, if you don't think Super Gogeta is coming, something has to be wrong with you. And I think this is another one of those cases where it's quite obvious, it's quite blatant, you know. So yeah, God Goku and Hit, it would go crazy. Obviously Goku would transform into blue as well in his animations potentially. I would actually like to see that. So he's in his God Goku form, right? But then if mid animations, depending on when he does a blue card or something like that, he actually goes into blue for a split moment, that could be nice. That could be very, very nice for the unit. We don't have any units that do things like that in the game, I don't think, besides from, if I can remember off the top of my head, Legends Limited Bardock, when he transforms during his legendary finish, you know, against Chilled, but that's about it. So this would be a nice addition to the Dragon Ball Legends atmosphere where Goku's actually doing a lot, and Hit's time skip is a very good like addition to the animations. It's going to be probably the most diverse unit that we have in the game animation wise if we did get this. So this could be something nice. I would like to see this. I can't speak for everybody, but I would like to see this. Would I necessarily summon? I can't say till I see the unit, but it would look good. And this is my first prediction stamped. I'm not going back on this, and I can go back. Pretty confident that this is going to drop though. So yeah, unit number 1 here. Alright, so this here is something I want to talk about before I give my second part 2 prediction, and it's based on how they revealed last year's festival, the 2024 festival. So in part 1 we got Vegito and Goku Black, right? But in part 2 we got Majin Buu Saga, so this Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3 Goku, and we got Goku Mini. Now if I recall correctly, there was kind of this idea that we're gonna get something Majin Buu Saga, not heavily hinted, but like in hindsight, we looked back and we were like, all right, cool. It kind of made sense that we got Majin Buu Saga. In this case, it's very obvious that we're gonna get something universe rep based. But then in the second release, if there's 2 Legends Limiteds, it could be completely astray. Is it gonna be 2 universe rep Legends Limiteds for part 2, or is it going to be 1? Then they send us somewhere completely different. In part 1 they kept it similar theme, future, but in part 2 they just did whatever the hell. So I'm thinking, are they going to go universe rep for part 2, or are they going to go universe rep and then something else? And if they went something else, I think the most likely thing they would go for is a Daima drop, because they still have to promote their newest series, you know. And I think going the festival or celebration without their newest series being involved is kind of crazy. I know they went the anniversary without it, but that's because they did a whole campaign prior to the anniversary anyways, and they dropped their biggest things ever, which baited before the anniversary, which is fine in my opinion. Looking at this year 2025, they could actually do anything. So my second part 2 prediction isn't going to be as concrete, but I just wanted to put that into the video, because if they do drop something that isn't universe rep for the second Legends Limited, assuming there's a second Legends Limited, I think that would make a lot of sense. Obviously in hindsight it's easy to see, but I want to say it beforehand so you know that I was processing it at the least. Anyways, regarding my part 2 second Legends Limited prediction, it could be one of these 3. I've got Jiren, God Toppo, I think God Toppo is also in the conversation, and we've got Goma. Again, like I mentioned, if they go another way, I think they would go the Daima route. Goma's aura is insanely purple. It's insanely purple. God Toppo, purple aura of Doom, bit of red here and there. Cool, matching the color theme. Jiren, he wears red, not a lot of purple coming out of him, so I'm not really going the Jiren way, but because of the quote, I'm kind of thrown off. So if I was just gonna like commit one way, I'm not committing to Jiren because they dropped the free to play. I think that's just the lower percentage pick, so I'm gonna X him out. I'm gonna go God Toppo most likely if it's universe rep double, and then if they're gonna go something completely different, I'm gonna go Goma. But if I had to put all my eggs in one basket, I would probably commit to Daima, just based on what they did last year. I would assume they're gonna follow through with the exact same format based on what we've got so far. So they went future, that's the whole of part 1. Then they went Majin Buu Saga, and they also went Daima in part 2. 2 completely different sagas. In this case, we're gonna go universe rep and we're gonna go Daima for part 2. That's what I think. I'm not thinking it's gonna be Goma, but you know, if I had to go one way, I just don't feel like God Toppo is really screaming anything if there's already a God Goku as well as a hit. But at the same time, they dropped Janemba, so they could really do anything. But yeah, man, I'm stuck between these two. But like I said, if I'm putting my eggs one way, let's go gambling. I'm picking Goma. Do I want Goma per se? No. But I'm thinking about it from their point of view. I think it makes sense to drop some diamond stuff back into the mix just so we don't forget about it. And, you know, they're putting themselves out there for the series. But yeah, that's everything regarding the part 2 predictions. There's not much more to talk about, to be honest. It's pretty clear cut once you actually get down to it. Let me know what you guys think. I think no matter how you go with part 2, your predictions are gonna stink because it's not part 1 or an ultra. So there's a lot more like unpredictability when it comes to the units in part 2. But yeah, if Toppo drops, I'm still gonna say I told you so. But if Goma drops, I'm still gonna say I told you so. I'm very stuck between these two. But if none of these drop, fairs, man. But I'm going 1 for 2. I'm confident with God Goku in here. I'm going 1 for 2 at least. I'm leaving here with something. I'm so glad this video is finally over. The predictions are done. They're stamped. I can't go back. In hindsight, it is pretty good to put my predictions out there. But the production of this video is like, damn, I gotta make a thought and a coherent reasoning. And somebody's not gonna like it. Somebody is gonna like it. It's a lot going on all over the place. But you guys can have your own opinion. I think part 2 is very, very unpredictable almost every year round. But I guess we'll just have to see. And once my word's out here, we can see if I was right or wrong. You guys can come back and say you told me so. I'll be saying I told you so. You know, it's both ways. But hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you haven't already, make sure to press the subscribe button. We're on this grind to 200,000 subscribers. I appreciate you guys for watching, man. My name is Zakashi, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one, man.